Vitamin water.
Wow.
I've been doing vitamin water.
Well, you've heard it here first, guys. Our first sponsor.
That would actually be pretty cool. I think they're owned by Coca-Cola. I'm not 100% positive. So, yeah, I would take kickbacks from Coca-Cola. Use promo code Coke in the end. No, just kidding.
I think,
geez,
well, 50 Cent is a part owner, right, of Vitamin Water, or maybe he sold it to Coca-Cola.
Bernie Sanders, not Bernie. Oh my goodness, unbelievable.
I'm looking it up now so we can fact check ourselves.
Warren Buffett is a part owner of Coca-Cola.
Vitamin Water.
Okay. So
Yes.
Gainz Nation.
Yes, vitamin owner 50 Cent has stake in Vitamin Water. In 2004, he partnered with Glacia, and then they made their Formula 50. Later on, 2007, Coca-Cola Company acquired Vitamin Water for Glacia for $4.1 billion. Billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars.
$4.1 billion. This is why I like Vitamin Water over Gatorade. No artificial dyes. Cane sugar. Yum, right? Cane sugar? Yeah, cane sugar. I had to double check. So,
is that the cane sugar from like back in the day where they used cocaine, or is that just cane sugar from the plant?
You know when like a kid like acts up and you beat him with a cane, it's just like the sweet syrup from no. God, jeez, this is going really downhill very fast.
Well,
I need to get out.
Good news, Roman. You first need to get some more vitamin D and get outside your house. Second thing is before we get into things, I could see it. Secondly, I still haven't released the Garrett podcast, which if you guys haven't listened to it, you could listen on his podcast, but I will do like a replay on the Gainz podcast. I do have to ask him, I don't know if I mentioned this, I do have to ask him for permission if he wants to use the video or we're going to do no video. Like I said, I had my shirt off using his robe. It was at like 6 a.m. I just want to make sure he's cool with it. Garrett, if you're listening, sorry to call you out right there, but actually I'm not really sorry. I'll call you out any day of the week. He's a good friend of mine, so I'm not really worried about it. Third thing, so that's got to come out. This podcast will probably come out first, and then we'll probably release it maybe actually I got a busy weekend this weekend, so maybe during the week of next week, and then maybe we'll do 2 releases next week for you guys since we were kind of not releasing much last month. Third thing, Dr. Kyle Richmond. If you haven't heard the news, he closed his old location and he is renting out a bigger location. And they kind of switched the name from Rebuilt Strength and Rehab over to Rebuilt Performance. So him, his girlfriend, and Josh Lambo, who is a kicker in the NFL, they opened up a performance gym where it's like a workout center, a softball lab, which Olivia runs, like softball trainings, how to get better. She played at Mizzou. If I'm not mistaken, their D1 college. She got like a scholarship and all that. So she's really good at softball. So if you're into softball, if you want to get into rehab, prehab, and how to perform as a better athlete, obviously someone that's played in the NFL knows how to be an athlete, right? I mean, for crying out loud, the guy probably has millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars for being in the league for being a kicker, which is actually a pretty hard job. Will Reichardt's a pretty good kicker, but I'm not going to boast any field goal kickers right now. But that is going to be grand openings today, actually, October 25th. I'm hoping maybe I release this today. So if you're hearing this, they're doing like a grand opening party. And my son and I might go. If you're listening and you want to check out the building, because this might not come out by the time the grand opening is today, but it is on 21739 South Center Avenue in New Lenox, Illinois. So if you're in the area of the south suburbs, you're close to there. West suburbs, you could hop on 355. If you're in the north suburbs, like Roman used to live, you can hop on the crappy Dan Ryan and make your way over here somehow. But yes, you can make your way over there. Like I said, I probably will go today just because I don't really have anything going on tonight. And I took my son actually to the grand opening from Kyle Richmond's first location. And they're also having Pizza di Farfalla there too, catering pizza. Scratch that. Giovanni owns Pizza di Farfalla, and he is a small business in New Lenox, and he's a client under Dr. Kyle Richmond. Well, used to be a client. I don't know if he still is a client, but he's going to be dishing out them thin crust pizzas, those thick crust pizzas. The Italian stallion is going to be there in his presence. So not only a retired football player, retired college softball player, Dr. Kyle Richmond, and the Italian stallion, and Gio, he lifts quite a bit. He's a big guy. He's always spinning the pizza dough. His forearms are huge. But that's my intro, Roman. That's all I got.
I love it. That should be a phenomenal event. Yeah. Good luck to Kyle. Hopefully that goes well. That's super exciting for him. Sounds like he's growing really, really fast, and that's I think that's like part and parcel, like because of like the excellent value that it provides to people, and that's a really good sign too for I don't know, I guess if you want to call it the movement, but like the movement towards performance or like better health, right?
He ended up winning Southland's best 2024 for health and healthcare professionals. So voted the best chiropractic facility, and he actually got voted Illinois' best Southland news. So maybe that's like a South Suburbs news station company or journal, I should say.
That's really exciting. No, congrats on that.
Gainz Podcast did win Nation's best podcast, but we don't really promote it that much. Joe Rogan was a hard second, and like Huberman Lab was like third. It's no big deal though.
Andrew Huberman would have gotten first, but he didn't show up for the award ceremony.
Got him.
I know that's good.
Hey, you know what? Us jumping on the board and getting that Huberman Lab podcast out got us a lot of good viewership, and I don't like to I guess overhype the videos in like the titles, but for some reason we released the podcast and there's like 100 listens on the podcast, and I'm like, wow, maybe we should just do breaking news in the fitness industry, so every time something happens we could be the first ones to talk about it. I think like Mark Lobiner, he's a guy who owns Tiger Fitness. He was actually really good about that back in the day. I used to watch like when everything happened, or I listened to like the Hodge twins. I don't listen to the Hodge twins too much anymore because they're pretty much like political, and I just listen to them for like the jokes and stuff right now. But yeah.
But that I had like it was a digression, but I had a thought. It was, I think, on my way this morning to drop off my niece to preschool. I feel like I see a whole lot more people like walking out in public now, and it's getting cooler. Like it's a beautiful day here in New England, but it's definitely getting cooler, and I feel like I remember from my childhood, like I didn't see that too often. Like seeing somebody walking was kind of like strange, or like maybe like abnormal, I'd say. Whereas like that's one of the parts about like where I live in New England that I love like so much about the summer is like you just see so many people outside exercising, like running, walking, biking, rollerblading, and there's so many different like avenues and areas to do that. Like very nice, well kept like bike paths, like not like very like high traffic roads that go by the beach, or like the water, for example. some cool like trails and paths and those kind of things. So I definitely feel very fortunate, but I don't know if this is like a one of the unintended consequences of like the pandemic and people like having to quarantine and whatnot. But I feel like I don't have any data, but it's just like a sense that I have that more people are outside exercising, which I would think only leads to better health outcomes. So it was just kind of like a thought that I've had recently, and yeah, just it's nice to see like people out like exercising, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, we're blessed. And when you said trails, we live by a trail. I mean, it's like a half mile to get to the trail, and then the trail leads like maybe 3 miles. So we'll probably hop on it, do like a half mile, and then turn back around. So it's like almost like a 3 mile trip. So maybe like a mile, because it's a half mile, then another half mile, maybe 2.5 miles, and it is nice. And it's also crazy. Yeah, when you get the same like routine, you'll start seeing the same people, and so like they always like say hi to you, and they kind of like you start to get to know them because you're on the same routine. But it's been nice, and plus I think we live by an area that has like a lot of dogs, and I'm so thankful when I see people walk their dogs, because I swear like some areas where we've lived and we would walk our dog like every single day. We would just see a bunch of dogs just sitting in the backyard the whole time. And some people don't have bigger backyards over here, so the dog doesn't ever really get that good exercise that dogs need. That I believe. I mean, we have a small beagle, so we could walk her like a mile and she'd be good for the day. But like some of these people have like German shepherds, labs, retrievers, and those dogs need like 3 to 4 miles a day. Like it's insane. Like even Australian shepherds, which those are, and border collies, which are like farm dogs, that they're herding animals daily basis. So it's really good to see that. And I think you're right. From the pandemic, I think, and also like the gym population, it's honestly been steady since 2020, and I think a lot of people are going there more, because dude, like I thought working out during the day would free up the gym for me, and working from home, all that good stuff. But I swear, like some days, like it's as busy as like a 5 o'clock session, and like 5 o'clock
Wow.
sessions are unreal. Yeah. So it's crazy. And it's like consistent people. And those are the people that when I see them a lot, I always say hi, because and Roman says the same thing, you always say hi because you want them to like stay consistent, and like to kind of make it like owed to me that they need to come back and say hi to me. It's like, oh wow, I know Antoine, I know about his family, his house, things like that. Like I want to keep seeing him. So I always think like, like we were just talking about, like when are we going to start building a home gym? And I get kind of sad, because it's like what the hell, what I need to see Mike. I need to see Ramon. I need to see Nick. I need to make sure they're doing okay too. So Sam and I kind of talked about it, like maybe she'll kind of get rid of her membership, and then like maybe I'll keep mine and then go to the gym like once or twice a week, because I just feel like I owe them to be there for them too. And and again,
Yeah,
here am I ranting again, being like Roman over here.
I think it's nice, like if you're afforded the opportunity to have both, it's nice to have both, because there's some days where I'll be slammed in the morning, I'll be slammed during the day, I'll be slammed after work. So it's like I can afford to wake up maybe like 30 minutes early, like get a couple of minute walk on the treadmill, and then like lift some weights in the basement. Like I'm very fortunate, but that's something that like my brother and I, like we saved up for years. We like will continually add like small new things to the gym. Like it's not like a luxury gym by any means, but like it has a squat rack, like it
Yeah.
has a bench, it has dumbbells, it has cables. Like any workout I want to do with like some minor modifications, I can do. And it's like I'd rather be able to get some sort of workout than none. And especially like being able to spend time with like my wife, like my niece, like hang out with my brother, whatever it is. Sometimes I'll prioritize that over the gym, and that's totally fine. But to have something that's like hyper local, like literally like below your feet, or if you're not afforded like a full basement, like maybe in like a back room, maybe even in your bedroom. Like I have, oh gosh, don't judge us, Gainz Nation. I'm gonna show you the ball here. But got like a little exercise ball that my wife. It's an exercise ball that my wife's been working out with recently. So yeah, it's nice if you got a busy schedule. You have to prioritize your health. That's maybe the most important thing, because it's like if you don't have good health, how can you give like the best you to your family, right? But like sometimes like I might only be able to carve out like 30 minutes. I'll do it. I'll go into the basement. Like I said, I can do push-ups. I can do pull-ups off of like the rafters down there. So there's a lot that can be done. It's just about like making it happen. Like finding that willpower. We often talk about like motivation, and people say like, oh, I wasn't motivated to do it. Like some days I'm not motivated. Like I woke up kind of choppy sleep last night. Woke up at like 4:30, but I committed to my buddy that I was going to go work out with him. I was like, it was hard for me to just open my eyes, like as I'm like sucking back my morning coffee, but like I got it done, got to the gym, like we had a great lift, and I felt much better about it afterwards. So you're not always gonna have that motivation, but committing to yourself that you're gonna do it. And then if it's gonna be somebody else too, like that person will keep you accountable, right? Because like if you don't go, then it's like, oh, that schmuck of a person like didn't show up. So it's like, you don't want to feel that way. So that's my 2 cents on that, buddy.
Speaking of gyms and gym, situations, can you tell us what's new in the world and what the heck's going on with Canada, eh?
Yeah, I don't consume a lot of fitness content anymore, which is kind of sad.
Me either. Yeah.
Yeah. Hyper absorbed into like the football world, American football or NFL.
Oh yeah.
So I saw something on YouTube the other day. I was just like, scrolling to find the next like update on like, what moves the Patriots are gonna make, or like, our trashy bosses. I sometimes I like their hot takes, and I stumbled upon a video, or it was like a post on YouTube from Jeff Nippard, and I was discouraged from what I heard. So it sounds like one of the gym members there physically assaulted Jeff, and I've never met Jeff in person, but like
twice, by the way.
Super cool dude, super chill, wicked nice, right? Oh, sorry, that's a question, buddy.
No, I just said no. He got assaulted twice.
Yeah. He got assaulted twice. But what I'm saying, like, super nice, like, very chill, like, cool, down to earth person. Like, So again, I haven't met him in person, but that's how like I take him as like a human being, right? That he extends respect to other individuals. So wanted to take some like time and space to note that it's like domestic violence, any violence of any kind is never acceptable. If you like suspected that somebody was like filming you in the gym, for example, and you didn't like that, first and foremost, just approach the person, be like, hey, I saw you were filming, like totally cool. It's a public space. I'm a little concerned because I thought you may have like filmed me in there. If that's the case, is there any way that if you're gonna post this like publicly, can you edit me out? Like ask that question, right? If that person doesn't respect your privacy, then go to the managers at the gym. But like there's no need for violence, right? There's ways that we can deal with this in professional and also an adult-like manner. But there's like never a situation where it's acceptable to assault another gym member. We're all there for our own individual reasons. Most of us, I'd say, are there to try to better ourselves every day, for ourselves, but also for our families, for our communities, for society. So it's really important that people feel welcomed, and it's even more important that nobody feels like it's not a safe space there, right? So like one thing that Jeff had mentioned, and it's like important to keep in mind, like there are definitely some like big people in the gym, and I'd say in general, like if you are like one of those like bigger individuals, and I mean like mostly muscular, but just like big in general, like you may come off as being intimidating. Just be aware of that. And yeah, just you can't help but like be, if you're massive, like you can't help but be like, crazy Jack, like that's awesome. But just be aware that other people might feel intimidated. And then like if you can, if it's within your power, it's your personality type, try to make others feel like more welcome. It's not your job to do that, but it never hurts. And like what's the investment to be like, hi, like how's your day going? Or like, oh, I saw you crush that last set, like keep it going. Anything along those lines. It doesn't take much to be kind or friendly. So it's even something that like I have to be mindful of, because I feel like I'm in like my tank top, and I'm working out, and I'm like feeling myself, and I'm like taking off my sweatshirt in the gym, and I'm like, I am feeling huge. And like not everybody might feel that it's like you're the most like welcoming or like friendly person to like approach or whatever. So in that case, it's important to just be aware of that, like bring that to like your social brain or social awareness, and then just try to be like friendly, welcoming to individuals. Again, like the best gym environments I've been in are ones where like you can kind of shoot it with the like you just kind of like talk about whatever with gym members, and like everyone's just like having a good time, like working on their goals, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I guess the additional information, like what was even weirder, right? Because like everyone's entitled to their own opinions. Because he made, I forgot the dude's name, Mike Van Ick or Van Wick. What's his name?
Something like that.
Yeah, he made a post about like, and I don't know if it was to Jeff Nippard, because he's so big in the science community, but he was like pretty much saying like, lifting is not all about science. It's more about hard work and effort. And, if you're just worried about science, you're going to just stay, forever small, and never get big or to your best, genetic potential. And then Jeff Nippard, made a response and said like, why is Chris Bumstead, a 7-time champion, and he still has a coach? Because he has the best like work ethic and genetics, but he doesn't have the ability to run the show himself. Because I think his coach is what's his name? The guy who coached Phil Heath.
Hani Rambod?
Yeah. So I think Chris Bumstead's coach, and he mentioned that like specifically about like Chris Bumstead, and then all Jeff Nippard did was like try to like say hello or try to say something, and the guy like chuckled at him, and then pretty much was like mad, and then that's what Roma was talking about. Like he was mad that Jeff Nippard was filming, and Jeff Nippard did get approval from like the owners and the GM for that gym, because like obviously he's a big YouTube star, and a lot of his career and his job is to film as much as possible. So like what Roman was saying, like, like he could have just said like, hey, like I don't want to be on camera. And then like, hey, I know we got our beef, but just, like, please don't film me. But instead, like he just said like, okay, stop filming me, stop filming. And then like he just pretty much like just threw his hand at Jeff Nippard's throat like twice, and to the point where Jeff Nippard pretty much like fell back like 2 feet on the ground, 2-3 feet. And so it's like what Roman was saying. It's like in my 15 years of going to a gym, I mean, the only time I saw like close to fighting is when I used to play basketball at the Park District. And I think you would see more of that because a lot of people are more competitive and intense when they're trying to win a game, instead of work on themselves, like Roman was saying, like working out. I don't think I've ever said that or seen that. The worst I've seen was maybe like people standing in the way of dumbbells. Like I've had to say something to people because people, it's not safe for people to stand in front of dumbbells. It's not smart. People are using the weight, they're putting back weight. If they drop that dumbbell the dumbbell on your foot, that's not going to feel good. Or if they are struggling with the weight and they're trying to put it back and you're in their way, they might drop it because, they're just trying to get it back so they can be safe, or they're tired as hell from the set and they might drop it that way. Cause like there's been times where I've had 100-pound dumbbells in my hands and I've had to like tell someone, hey, excuse me, like, and I'm got 200 pounds in my hands and I'm trying to get it, back in the rack. So, that's like the probably the most I've ever seen, or like someone would, take a machine for like 20 minutes. And then that's when you got to talk to them and be like, hey, do you mind if I work in? So we've definitely did a gym etiquette like episode for that, but we kind of wanted to, talk about this because you don't really see that much anymore. Or like the people slamming weights when, maybe they're deadlifting at a rec center. Like that's why I don't deadlift at the gym I go to much, because they don't have a platform. And every time I deadlift, it's just super loud. The crowd is mostly older population when I go. So it's not really fun to deadlift there. Like if I'm going to deadlift, I'll go to another gym and use their platform where there's rubber padding. And when I drop the weight, it doesn't make noise. All it is like clinking the barbell. That's all you hear. So it is interesting to see. And like what Roman's sort of saying, I'd put Jeff Nippard to even like almost like an Eric Helms or like Alberto Nunez. Like I've personally met Alberto Nunez and he was like the most like chill guy. And you could tell from like the YouTube videos and like the podcast, he's that person in real life too. So I would assume Jeff Nippard's like the same way. And like, I mean, the guy, I mean, for someone who's not on gear or anything, I mean, the guy is freaking jacked. Like he's probably Roman's height, but like twice the width of Roman, I bet. If Roman and him were to meet, like they're probably the same height, and like he's just wide. So
I do a pose off with Jeff.
Yeah, I think I want to. Man, I'm trying to think if I saw him at the Arnold in 2018. I may have seen him, but like, see, the thing is, he was like some people were just so busy, like Bradley Martin. Like I didn't want to wait in line to meet them, but it was like cool seeing them. Like, okay, I saw Bradley Martin 15 feet away, but like I stood in line for like Colin Von Moger because I really wanted to meet him because he reminded me of like Arnold, and him and I are like the same height, and it was cool to stand next to him because it's like you see these guys on Instagram and then you meet them in person and they're like the same height as you, and like obviously they're big, like Colin's like way bigger than me, but like it was cool to see like him and I like matched up, like like Roman could match up maybe with Jeff Nippard or like Stan Efferding. Like I was taller than Stan Efferding, but I got a picture of me like putting my arm around Stan Efferding. So, but yeah, that's all I got, Roman. I mean, we got like a minute left. If you want to close it out, we'll close it out, buddy.
Gainz Nation, we are one people, and trying to get as jacked as humanly possible. Well, some people, they just want to be able to run fast or maybe far. But the point being, we're all trying to pursue the pursuit of health
and happiness.
Wealth. There we go. So be good to each other, say a kind word, and as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the platforms, things. We appreciate you. We love you, Gainz Nation. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.